If you wake up and you only have 20% and you give your whole 20%, you've given 100%. Give yourself a break. Welcome to my podcast, Sip and Sala, where we lift the lid, spilling the tea on all things marriage, womanhood, and motherhood. So let's sip some tea and pray we get through another day of this shit. Hi everyone, welcome back to Sip and Sala. It's been a little while, I'll explain. But my name's Aaliyah and I am here to spill the tea. Or most importantly, I'm here to talk about all the stuff that most people don't. So, today's episode is called Sane. And that kind of explains my absence. So I will apologise, but sometimes priorities are priorities and they're key. For today's episode, I want to cover mental health. Now, I'm not a professional. I'm just a girl. I really am. I'm just a girl like all of you lot, and I'm someone who's very aware of mental health. I'm someone who's suffered from mental health. I'm someone who is suffering from mental health because I don't ever think it's a past tense thing. And I just want to kind of normalize it. So obviously, I was meant to be with you guys every single Wednesday and I let you down. And I beat myself up about it for so long, hence the reason why I've not been there. I did film the following Wednesday, but I was so sick. I watched it back and I was like, I cannot put that out there. And I didn't put it out there. I wanted to excuse myself. I don't need to make an excuse. I didn't put it out there. And then because I didn't put it out there, had people DMing me like, you've missed an episode. I'm like, shit, you don't know how I'm going through. Like, nah. And you are not beating me up as much as I'm beating myself up. But that's not all of it. I've obviously got my own life going on. I've got my own marriage. I've got my own children. I've just got my own day-to-day business. I've got my own employment, all the rest of it. And I'll be honest, brutally, it became on top of me. And I was like, oh, why did I start another thing that I don't know if I can? Anyway, then I was like, you know what's this? Cut your freaking hair. Cut your freaking hair. Do a bad job of it. Have a meltdown about that and restart. It's 2024. We're all being better people. So here we are. Let me take a sip of the coffee because I need it. I really do. So, mental health. I feel like there's like this massive taboo topic and I just want to just get it out there. So many people are like, she's suffering from mental health. And it always has to be like a really tragic event. It always has to be something. If you go to your doctor, right, and you say, I'm not feeling mentally okay, they always say to you, well, why? What's happened? It's like, actually, does anything have to happen? Do you know I'm fighting kids at home every blood clot day to brush their teeth, and then I got to tidy that room that they mess up every single day, and that house needs hoovering. I did not know carpets needed hoovering more than once a day until I had children. Like, and then I've got to make myself look presentable because if I don't, I'm going to go pick them up, and all the other moms are going to look at me like I'm that mom, and that's going to also impact my mental health. And then I've got to show up for my job and be on time, and they don't give a shit that I've got kids or whether I haven't got kids. They just don't care that the bus was late. All that shit adds up on one person. And I swear to you, I feel like sometimes I say to my husband, and I feel like, am I normal? What's wrong with me? And I always say to him, we've got to do lots as adults. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, no, seriously. Like, there's a lot of shit we got to do. Like, we got to wake up on time. We're going to feed ourselves breakfast. Ideally, we got to work out because health is wealth. You know. Then we got to go to our job. That includes a commute or any some sort of drive. Get there on time, be our best self for 4 hours, 9 hours, however long you work your job. Then go home, pick up your kids, be on time for them, and also be prepared with lots of energy. My voice broke. Lots of energy because they've got a lot to tell you about everything they've done today. And even if you don't pick up your kids, you're meant to go home with that same level of energy to do all the housework you haven't done because you've been at work. And also be socially active, talk to your friends, talk to your parents, talk to your sister, and then also find time to do some self-care. Make sure you do self-care because self-care is everything. If you don't self-care, then who are you? Where have you been living? And then make sure you read a nice book because books are better than phones before bedtime, and get to bed before 8:30. Where the fuck? Who the fuck? What world? Who made this shit? Just stop it now. Just stop it, because I'm sorry. Just because we're all doing it doesn't mean that it's easy. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm having a minute, and I'm here. You wanted me? Here I am. Half mental breakdown. Actually, you've skipped the mental breakdown. You've kind of avoided that. That happened on TikTok last week or whenever that was. Anyway, I'm here because loads of people say to me, "How do you do it? You make it look so easy. You've always got your shit together." My shit is not together. It's not together, but here I am. Let me introduce myself again. My name's Aaliyah. I always look very well put together. I normally operate very well put together. But once every 300 days, I have this 30-day meltdown, maybe 40 days. And I'm telling you, it's catastrophic. And I'm in the middle of one now, but here we are, mental health. So, like I said to you, you go to your GP and you tell your GP, like, these freaking headphones are peeing me off, right? But for the life of me, I cannot find my beats. Maybe that is just me going through the motions. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Just start playing music in my ears as well. They're doing my head in. Maybe I'm going to take them out. I don't know. You know what? I will be posting this episode, because if I don't, I never will. And Sip and Salah will just be no more. Anyway, like I said, you go to your GP and there's always got to be a fucking issue. And it pisses me off. It's like, you go there and they're like, well, what happened? And like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Sometimes some things trigger it off, but why can't the stresses that he feels the same, she feels the same, the GP, by the way. But they, it just, I just don't know. I feel like, why are you going to go there with a big sob story for them to understand you? That makes no sense to me. Makes zero sense. But then also, I can't help but think, when did it hit? I do remember there was a time in my life where I was so unconscious of mental health. What changed that? This is playing music in my ears again. Just this thing, right? This is why I don't want to listen to you, young blue. Because no, honey, like no. This is what I mean, right? I haven't done this. I can't find my beats. Did I lose them on the airplane? I don't actually know at this point. Like I said, I'm a stone throw away from a mental breakdown. Let's just take them out, and if the sound fails, the sound fails. Because at this point, I'm just the girl. I told you, I'm literally about to have a mental breakdown. Anyway, I wanted to make this episode on a serious note because so many people think I'm so like set. So many people think I'm struggling to do this now without the noise in my ears, but so many people think I'm like set and I'm strict and oh my God, I'm not. And I wanted to talk about it to normalize the fact that my house is a mess half the time. My mental mind is a mess half the time. I just choose not to let it swallow me up, because I know I've let it swallow me up before, and I know the amount of time it takes to spit me back out, and I just don't have that time. I don't feel as though I have that time anyway. So I wanted to talk about like how I manage it, and maybe you guys can tell me some reasons or ways or means on how you manage yours, because me, firstly, I won't lie to you, I'm the queen of a pity party. I start off with a nice pity party. We do that with a binge eating session. Then I kick myself. I'm like, wait, sis, you're on a diet. Sis, you're on a diet. So then I kick myself. Then I go into this excessive exercising disorder, I'm going to call it, where I literally exercise every single day, because I feel like if I don't, my legs will fall off because I've eaten so many Smarties. Not the best, not healthy, no. But then I take time to address it. But on a serious note, I really do like to think I'm living something I once prayed for. I try to remind myself of that. I try to remind myself that one day I might think, why didn't I appreciate that moment more when I was in it? And it's so hard. And it's so hard sometimes to like be your best self. Like I said, as a mom, as a wife, as a husband. I don't know as a husband, but I'm trying to cover both sides of things. But as an employee, and I'll be honest with you, the best thing I ever stood by was, if you wake up and you only have 20% and you give your whole 20%, you've given 100%. Give yourself a break. I used to literally, like, it would eat me alive on the days that I would literally give 40% because that's all I had left in my like, in my tank, with even without kids. And I would kick myself that I didn't give the 100, but I didn't even have the extra 60. I wouldn't even have known where to find it. And I just want to normalize that so many other people probably feel that way and do feel that way, but just don't say it. And not that I'm at this scale at all, but I have lost a lot of people I knew or grew up with to suicide. And I honestly, I know this sounds ridiculous, but I've sat at these funerals thinking, wait, wait, like, I know maybe I couldn't have helped, maybe their best friend couldn't have helped, maybe their mum couldn't have helped, but actually, is there someone that is with this day and age that's familiar? Now, I don't mean talk to bloody, they give you like a crisis line. To me, if you give a 20-year-old number a crisis line, like, it feels a lot. In my opinion, anyway. I feel like we, as Generation Z's, Y's, whatever you guys label yourselves or us anymore, if we bring it into what we are already doing in our everyday lives, i.e., social media, i.e., events, i.e., just platforms in general, it's something more familiar. You do. I swear, I hope that one person watching this is like, thank God you're talking about that. She's rambling, but she's talking, and I appreciate it. And she doesn't need to know who I am. I don't even know who she is, but she's helping me normalize my feelings. That's all I want to do with this. And I do want to emphasize that it's so much more common than what you think, and you don't need to be at that suicidal level for it to be like, oh, I'm just being ridiculous. You're not being ridiculous. Mental health is mental health, and that is that. And I am so sick of people making out like we need to have a tragedy behind it. Yeah, a lot of us have got tragedies, but sometimes it's not even the tragedies that kick it up. Sometimes I just don't want to be a bad bitch today, and that's fine. And sometimes, and I say this with love, sometimes, like, my husband will come home and he'll be like, you're right, and I'll be like, not really. And he's like, why? I'm like, just not happy today. He's like, oh, that's terrible. Why? What can make you happier? What would make me happier if you let me be miserable for the day? Like, let's just normalize that. Let me be a moody bitch. Let me contemplate all these things that are racking up in my mind. And then, if it overspills into a following day, get involved. But if not, allow me. Just leave me. Because I feel like if we all didn't have these days, it's who are we? Are we robots? I don't know. This is a rant. This has become a rant, but I have to post it because if I don't, I never will. And if I never do, then the whole concept behind this thing in the first place is out the window, isn't it? But anyway, best ways to deal with it. Let's put some things out there. Let's put. I'm gonna spill my secrets. I remember being like 13, 14, and really being aware of my mental health and really being aware of the struggles and the impacts that it was having on me. And I swear you're gonna be like, she just said that. Yeah, the best thing I can say to anybody when you feel like no one around you understands is go on the internet. Now, if you want to be an alias, if you want to be user 69333, don't just watch, interact. I swear to you, interact with the world of strangers that is literally at your doorstep. And the reason why I say that is because it would blow your mind, and it will blow your mind, the reception, the engagement, and the conversation that you can have with a complete stranger versus someone you've known and who's your best friend for 10 years. When I was a kid, all I used to do was go on the internet. I don't know if I don't actually remember if I was myself or not. If I wasn't myself, don't reach out to me, please. I was really troubled. No, seriously, don't. But go on the freaking internet, and that version of yourself where you almost think, I would be that. I swear to you, that alone will lift your mood. And some people are like, well, I can't afford to, but you know what? I'm a massive supporter of retail therapy. Buy what's in your means. If you want to go buy a Chanel bag, buy a Chanel bag. If you want to go buy yourself a new mop head, buy yourself a new mop head. But I swear to you, it works. But you know what? Most importantly, be honest with yourself. Fuck other people. Just be honest with yourself. Me, I swear to you, when I'm in a dark place, I will literally talk out loud to myself. I don't give a shit if I look psychotic. I will literally say, today is a horrible day and I actually don't want to do this day today. I want to go to sleep. That's what I want to do. Because when I'm hearing my thoughts out loud, they actually ring more true to me. And I'm like, wait, what would I say to somebody if I heard them say this to me? How would I respond? What could I do? But sometimes, without even intervention from myself, just saying it out loud makes me naturally do the opposite. It makes me think, like, sometimes I'm like, if I'm in a dark space and I wake up and I'm like, if I did not have kids today, I would go back to bed and start the day tomorrow. And then, like, my body's like, wait, you have got kids. So you just got to go downstairs and eat something. Probably eat something that's going to fuel you and not fatigue you. And let's take the next step. And honestly, it works. And I always say to every single person, mental health or not, get yourself ready. However, to whatever degree that is, do it. I swear to you, think about it. How best can you be a bad bitch? In your pajamas or in something that makes you feel more attractive, sexier, I don't know, whatever. You don't have to be like some raunchy girl in a miniskirt. Nobody's saying that. You don't have to have 3 layers of foundation on, but do what makes you feel like your best self. Don't lay there in your nightwear because you're going to get more pity. And I swear to you. But again, this was a brief episode to cover mental health, which is kind of like brief, but I say episode. It's more of a rant. It's more of a welcome back. It's more of a this is where I've been and this is why, and I believe that most of us have, and it's more of a reminder to say be easy on yourself. I cannot stress it enough. I don't enough. I don't know if it's the algorithm that my FYP has fallen onto, especially on TikTok, but it's like what I did last year versus what I did this year, and it's like make my bed more, make this more. These goals are beautiful, and I don't knock these people for doing it. But this is not just 2024, it's every year in general. We always, and I know you could say it's positive mindset, and I'm not doubting that, but every year we go into how can we be, you know, better versions of ourselves? How can we be Robert 2.0, Aaliyah 2.0, Sharif 2.0, I don't know, Michaela 2.0? That's great, and I am a humongous advocate for being a better version of yourself. However, let's be okay with the version that we were in the first place, because if we're not okay with that, we're never going to be okay with version 2.0, but 1, 6.9, nothing. Go easy on yourself. The fact that you're able to just stand strong, feed yourself, fill your fridge, feed your kids if you've got kids, feed your pets if you've got pets, clean to the best of your ability, and you're holding it down. And the fact that you're even watching this tells me that you're trying. It's just that. Because if you wasn't and you were struggling with it and you watched a small snippet of this, you would skip it. The fact that you're open to hearing someone else's advice and opinions, go easy on yourself. I swear to you, there's always going to be people who don't struggle, who don't suffer the same struggles that you struggle. That you, what? There's always going to be people that don't suffer the same struggles you suffer, but they struggle different ones. They suffer different ones. Don't try and measure yourself against anybody else. Look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I did it. I did it. I got to the end of the day. I didn't do half the shit that I said I was going to, but I'm here and I feel damn good better for doing so. Damn good better, you know. Damn good better. I feel damn better for doing so. And yeah, this podcast was more of a welcome back, more of a hi guys. That's like the meme, you know, the meme from what do you call it? I think it's like a TikTok one. Hi guys, did you miss us? We're back. It was one of them. I say we're. It's just me. It's just me. Farhan's not coming on here again. I'll tell a lie. I'll give you the gossip on that too. Filmed that first one where I was sick. Didn't really want to post it because it felt like just a horror story. I filmed one with Farhan, which almost ended my marriage because me and Farhan are such different people. And as much as you may think it, and so many people think it from watching our videos, so many people, and I just laugh it off. I never recorrect anybody, but actually, so many people think like I'm the showgirl and he's like this poor person, which to a degree is a bit true. But I don't think he's way more of a show. He's a showman. Like if I say to him, when I made this podcast and I told him he wasn't a part of it, I said to him, look, this is nothing wrong with you, but when you do something and you know that people are watching, you add a different layer that brings a little inauthenticity to it than I would prefer, right? He was like, I get it. Because he does. He absolutely does. And that doesn't mean he's being fake. It means that I think maybe it's more the defensive side of him that adds that layer to, and the marriage one we did, he had no clue what I was going to say. He had no clue what we were going to talk about. So that was probably the most vulnerable you've ever seen him. But anyway, I did one about work and just struggles. And I swear to you, I could have clapped that man's head off his shoulders because he made it like a Brexit debate. And I was like, yo, I won't be posting this, because this is not, you want to go sit your ass with Nigel Farage, just like you, because this is not what this page is for. He's like, I've watched so many podcasts before. See, I'm ranting now, but I'm going to tell you, I've watched so many podcasts before, and Joe Rogan. Well, go sit your ass down with Joe Rogan then, because I don't want Joe Rogan's kind of podcast. I don't want an argumentative kind of podcast. I don't want a facade. We could easily sit here as the Salas and just be like chatting shit. I don't want to do that. I want to be the person that I am when I'm by myself with you guys. Because I believe the person that I am when I'm by myself is what lots of us are, but lots of us are so uncomfortable with that fact or so unfamiliar with the fact that it may be more familiar than we think. And my man came on here trying to smack down hammers and all that. No. So listen, I'm just a girl. I'm not just a girl. I'm just a girl. God, let's not stop the bloody. Anyway, that happened as well. So I wanted him to be part of this one, and I wanted him to be a part of the whole working and struggle one because I felt as though he had a good reflective slash mirror kind of. I don't know. I just felt he didn't know what the topic was about. I briefed him on the beginning, and I just wanted. I never tell him because I just want it to be authentic. I don't want it to be a show performance, right? And I thought it'd be perfect for us both to speak about it, even though we've never spoke about it before, on camera, and it became something else. If you lot comment and say you want to see it, you're on the wrong channel. This is not the Jerry Springer show, sir. I don't want this. If you want a rowdy podcast that's purely there for entertainment and actually quite inauthentic, this is the wrong page. I don't want to do that. I could easily do that. I don't want to do that because at the end of the day, right, when my bills are paid, I got to be that same person again and again and again and again and again, and I don't want to be that. So he's removed. We will refilm that podcast because I think it's so important to talk about what I was talking about on that podcast. And maybe if he can get his P's and Q's in order and just be authentic and not try and prove points to anybody, then maybe we'll sit him back down again. But until then, he's stuck with me. So yeah, I'm sorry it's been a while. I do think this one's quite sporadic, but I'm going to go ahead and post it anyway, just because I'm rusty. My eyes stuck together. I'm rusty, but I'm committed. And I'm going to do this. In 2024, we've got this. We're doing this. And, oh, by the way, this is nothing to do with the podcast, but I'm going to tell you because it's relevant. I woke up January 1st and I was nominated for like some award for favourite Instagram account or best Instagram account. And then I was absolutely blown away. I was like, what? I didn't even know this was a thing. I did not know it was a thing. The fact that people have been voting me and not even told me they'd vote me for something, and then I've just been told because I'm a finalist, is like, boom. And then I'll tell you the greed within me. 3 days later, I saw Best Podcast Award, and it was like 4 podcasts. I was like, ugh. Who am I? Do you see what I mean? Who am I to be like, ugh? Maybe in 3 episodes, quitting for a month and then being like, ugh. But I just joke. It fueled me to be like, that's me. I'm going to be sitting pretty there next year, you know? We're going to do this. We've got this. And I want to make all of you aware that I'm human just like you. And if you need a break, just like me, take your break. Who gives a shit? Don't follow regimes, don't follow routines, don't follow schedules. Especially if you're someone on social media where it's you must post 3 times a day. If you don't post every week, you've lost your following. Who gives a shit? Because at the end of the day, without you, there is no following. That's just that. That's just that. So take care of yourself first, and the rest will come. I promise. But next episode won't be so sporadic because we'll go back to my planning, my schedules of planning. But I just wanted to sit and rant today and show you all my terrible haircut that I literally did because I was on the verge. Anyway, if you are watching on YouTube or Spotify or wherever other platforms you watch, make sure you subscribe. If you're listening, follow, and don't forget to come back next Wednesday for another episode. God, that was chaos. That was freaking chaos. Let me do that TikTok actually. Let me do it on my channel. TikTok. Did you miss that? Oh, it's there. Look at that first thing. Hey guys, did you miss us? Because we missed you.